En serio, ¿por qué se bañan? Es que aprendí eso hace poco, como que se bañan diario. ¿Saben que se van a dañar la piel, poner tantos sulfatos? Y una vez a la semana está bien. Cuando escucho que se lavan el cabello 3 veces, me digo, oye, se dan.
And as you just saw, thanks to a French TikToker, this video has emerged. This young woman claims that washing your hair once a week is enough, and she doesn't understand why people in Mexico bathe daily. I believe this is not about being a hater and attacking her completely, as one must understand that each population or country has its own customs, habits, and traditions that set them apart from others. For example, in several European countries, many people drink more than here, as they consume alcohol most all year round, not just 1 or 2 beers, but liters and liters. This is due not only to their fondness for drinking but also to other facts, such as having nothing better to do after work, colder climates than here, work stress, etc. Other countries like Japan have high suicide rates due to social pressure. I mention this so that we try to understand her by analyzing her own life context. Of course, I'm not generalizing all French people. Although, lately, it seems like some of them have something against Mexico. Right, Emilia Perez? Any human population generates waste, especially in large cities, including ours in Mexico, where we also can't deny the truth. Many areas are very dirty. But in the case of France, and especially Paris, it has historically been one of the world's leading perfume producers, and this actually has its roots in the habit of not bathing. Perfumes have been used to mask the false odors that every human body, regardless of nationality, generates. Moreover, historically many European populations were not very clean, even throwing urine and excrement into the streets. And that's why there were so many diseases, pandemics and epidemics in the Middle Ages. Of course, during colonial times, these bad habits were also present here, and some still persist today. But going back to Paris, the historical habits, which to us are not very healthy, are simply what they are used to offer there. We saw this during the last Olympic Games, when they only tried to clean Paris because of the event. There were even athletes who got sick due to the pollution of the Seine River. Plus all the trash in the streets and the rat infestations. And this is not an attack on them or on the TikToker. These are simply verified facts. That's why we shouldn't be surprised that our habits seem strange here. It's ingrained in the historical DNA. So, if she herself admits that just one throat cleaning a week is enough, that will mean that, at least, she washes her entire face and body 52 times a year, since that's the number of weeks in a year. In other words, she doesn't clean herself properly for the remaining 330 days, replacing water with perfume. She is a clear example of what happened between indigenous groups here and the Spaniards, failing to understand different contexts and making quick value judgments. Because hygiene here went beyond just taking a bath, as the girl believes, and if she's surprised that many of us bath once a day, she will be even more shocked to learn that historical records show that in Tenochtitlan, everyone bathed once a day, and in cases like Moctezuma Xocoyotzin, even twice. Hygiene was almost an obsession at the time. For example, Bernardino de Sahagún mentions that there were up to 3 public pools in different parts of Tenochtitlan, and even 5 different nahuatl words for these primitive pools. Besides public baths, people bathed in nearby water, wells and rivers. Bathing didn't ruin the skin or hair, as the French girl believes. It was part of their worldview. What she sees as just a simple bath here meant harmonizing hygiene, health, and ritual in the Nahuatl world. Hygiene sought to balance the physical with the spiritual. It also had implications related to things that today would be considered New Age. For instance, they use herbal medicine to clean their bodies, hair, and even feet. They made shampoos from plants, used axolots to keep water clean, swept the streets daily, and even had drainage systems and aqueducts that separate fresh water from salt water. And speaking of baths, of course we have to mention the Temazcal, which was not just for bathing or a tourist attraction, and it's sold today. It was, and still is, a very complex system of beliefs, where to begin with, it is an activity that detoxifies the body and when used correctly, can benefit both physical and mental health. All of this proves that hygiene habits were more widespread and advanced here than in Europe at the time. These habits went beyond just smelling good. Your body was your house, or Cali, which had to be kept in order and well cared for. These are the roots of the customs we have today of bathing daily. Of course, to be fair, many Mexicans today don't know all these ancient hygiene habits or their cultural significance. But its practice remained in collective memory, which is why bathing daily is not strange to us at all. That's why Bat, she, and Spaniards came here with those same hygiene habits and customs. Well thought. We must acknowledge that many Mexicans today have unhygienic habits, not just in terms of bathing, but also in littering, vandalizing, etc. The major vices that every society has. And of course, history is full of ironies. The isolation in the continent from the rest of the world, and precise the hygiene habits, were the reason why people had no immunity against smallpox and other diseases brought from Europe. It's not that there were no diseases here, but our hygiene practices meant that our bodies had fewer defenses against the new illness introduced from other parts of the world. But well, that's already history, and hopefully much of the good from the past can be revived, as modern bathing customs have their pre-Hispanic roots. And, as the Joker said, the TikToker wouldn't understand these habits.